Before the sold-out arenas, before the world knew his name, there was a fiercely determined kid with a sound that no one had ever heard before. He didn't just play music, he redefined it. This is the story of the genius who painted the world purple. This is the story of Prince. Prince was born on June 7, 1958 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was born into a musical family. His father, John Nelson, was a jazz musician, and his mother, Maddie Shaw, was a singer. From an early age, Prince displayed an uncanny musical aptitude, mastering piano, guitar, and drums all before his teenage years. At just 19, he signed with Warner Brothers Records, and in 1978 released his debut album, For You. The album showcased Prince's multi-instrumental genius, as he handled all 27 instruments on the album all by himself. In 1979, his self-titled second album, Prince, blended funk, rock, and R&B. The album featured the hit I Wanna Be Your Lover, which reached #1 on the R&B charts. Prince worked primarily solo during these two albums, but that same year he began assembling the iconic band that would eventually become The Revolution. At first, it was simply his touring band. The name The Revolution wasn't officially used until the early mid-1980s. The early members consisted of Prince on lead vocals, lead rhythm guitar, piano, and keyboards, Des Dickerson on lead guitar and backing vocals, Andre Simone on bass guitar, Robert Rifkin, also known as Bobby Z, on drums and percussion, Gail Chapman on keyboards and vocals, and Matt Fink, simply known as Dr. Fink, on keyboards and synthesizers. This lineup toured with Prince from 1979 through 1980 and recorded some early material together. In 1980, Prince's creativity further exploded. The same year, he released Dirty Mind, a raw and sexually charged mix of funk and new wave. In 1981, he released Controversy, a playful and provocative album, with the title track becoming one of the album's biggest hits. The same year, bass player Mark Brown, also known as Brown Mark, had replaced Andre Simone, who went on to lead a successful solo career. That same year, he met and eventually began collaborating with friend, percussionist, drummer, and singer Sheila Escovedo, simply known as Sheila E. She would remain a frequent collaborator through the years. Also that year, Lisa Coleman replaced Gail Chapman on keyboards. In 1982, he released 1999, a synth pop and funk masterpiece which included the massive hits 1999 and Little Red Corvette. In 1983, lead guitarist Des Dickerson left the band and was replaced by Wendy Melvoin. At this time, the group solidified and became known as Prince and the Revolution. This was considered to be the group's most classic lineup that consisted of Prince on vocals, guitar, and keyboards, Wendy Melvoin on lead guitar, Brown Mark on bass, Bobby Z on drums, Dr. Fink on keyboards, and Lisa Coleman on keyboards. In 1984, Purple Rain hit the scene, and Prince's career further skyrocketed. The monumental soundtrack and film set the music world on fire and featured hits like When Doves Cry, Let's Go Crazy, and the title track Purple Rain. In 1985, the band created Around the World in a Day, a psychedelic and experimental album which featured the hits Raspberry Beret and Pop Life. By the mid-1980s, Prince was no longer just a musician. He was an unstoppable force, reshaping pop, funk, and rock while mentoring and collaborating with some of the era's most iconic performers. Other prolific bands that Prince assembled during this period included The Time, Vanity 6, Apollonia 6, The Family, and Madhouse. In 1986, Prince and the Revolution released Parade, which was the soundtrack for the accompanying film Under the Cherry Moon. Although the film was not as successful as Purple Rain, the soundtrack did feature many memorable songs, including the #1 hit, Kiss. The final lineup of the Revolution included all core classic members, along with the addition of Susanna Melvoin, Wendy's twin sister, on backing vocals. The Revolution continued performing with Prince while promoting Parade until he dissolved the band later that year. In 1987, Prince released Sign of the Times, a double album which became a masterpiece. The album included many memorable songs, including the socially conscious title track and the romantic ballad Adore. Band members around this time included Sheila E. and dancer Cat Glover. In 1988, he released Lovesexy, a spiritually infused experimental funk album with an extremely risque album cover. This album included the ultra-funky Alphabet Street. In 1989, Prince released the delightfully whimsical Batman soundtrack, which included the upbeat tracks Bat Dance and Party Man. In 1990, he released the soundtrack to Graffiti Bridge. The film featured contributions from a multitude of artists, including The Time, Tevin Campbell, and the legendary Mavis Staples. The sequel to Purple Rain, the film included the entire music video clip for the hit Thieves in the Temple. Also featured in the film were Prince proteges Jill Jones and Robin Power Royal. Also in 1990, Prince formed the New Power Generation. Members included Rosie Gaines on keyboards and vocals, Michael Bland on drums, Sonny T on bass, Levi Caesar Jr. on guitar, and rapper Tony M. The group became Prince's primary backing group for albums like Diamonds and Pearls in 1991, which featured hits like the powerful title duet with Rosie Gaines and Cream. They were also the group that Prince worked with during the Love Symbol album in 1992. Although the New Power Generation lineup evolved over time, the core members remained Prince's backing and creative engine in the 1990s. Legendary soul singers Mavis Staples and Chaka Khan, along with Larry Graham, collaborated on many later projects, while Sheila E. also continued collaboration on live tours and select recordings. Prince wasn't just producing albums, he was constructing entire worlds, and his bands were integral to realizing his musical visions. From the Revolution to the New Power Generation, each ensemble brought its own magic. In 1993, Prince took on the music industry. He felt that Warner Brothers controlled how often he could release music and owned the masters of his recordings. He wanted to release albums much more frequently than the label allowed. In protest, he changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol. Because the symbol couldn't easily be said, the media began referring to him as the artist formerly known as Prince. Other notable albums created during this era were Come in 1994, The Black Album in 1994, and The Gold Experience in 1995. He even wrote the word slave on his face during performances and released albums strategically only to fulfill and then exit his contract. The first two albums recorded during this period were Emancipation and Chaos and Disorder, both released in 1996. His actions wasn't just rebellion, it was a fight for artistic freedom. Today, many artists still credit Prince for paving the way for owning their music. Prince's battle became one of the most famous artist versus label disputes in music history. It later influenced discussions about artist ownership and contracts, issues that artists decades later still talk about. After his contract ended later in 1996, Prince eventually regained control of much of his catalog and became a strong advocate for artists' independence. The same year, he married dancer Maite Garcia. In 1998, Prince released Crystal Ball and The Truth. In 1999, he released Rave Unto the Joy Fantastic and The Vault Old Friends for Sale. 1 year later, his marriage to Maite Garcia ended in divorce. In 2001, Prince released The Rainbow Children. The same year, he married Manuela Testolini, a charity worker at his Paisley Park organization. 2002, he released One Night Alone and 2 albums in 2003. These albums were Expectation and News. In 2004, Prince released the Grammy-winning Musicology. Also in 2004, he released 2 more albums. These albums were The Chocolate Invasion and The Slaughterhouse. In 2006, he released 3121. The same year, he and Manuela Testolini's marriage ended in divorce. In 2007, Prince released Planet Earth, followed by Lotus Flower and NPL Sound in 2009. In 2010, he released an album of the same name, 2010. In 2012, Prince formed the female trio Third Eye Girl. The group collaborated with Prince during tours and studio sessions. Members included Donna Grantis on guitar, Ida Christine Nielsen on bass, and Hannah Welton on drums. In 2014, the group released their album Plectrum Electrum. The same year, Prince released Artificial Age. In 2015, he released Hit and Run Phase 1 and Hit and Run Phase 2. The albums were initially released exclusively on the streaming service Tidal. Even in his later years, Prince was a musical powerhouse, performing up to 150 shows a year, mentoring younger artists, and always evolving. His live shows and bands were extensions of his creativity, each adding depth and energy to all of his performances. At the age of 57, Prince departed this life on April 21, 2016. He was more than a musician. He was a revolution in sound, style, and spirit. Posthumous released albums include Piano and a Microphone, 1983, released in 2018, Originals, released in 2019, and Welcome to America, released in 2021. From Minneapolis to the world stage, his artistry reshaped music and inspired generations. Nearly 10 years after his passing, Prince's legacy continues to echo in every note, in every performance, and in every heart he touched. Ultimately, his story reminds us that true genius never dies, it only multiplies. That's the story of Prince. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more music spotlights. Catch you next time.